Boy, do you think those guys in those fucking tuxedos and Mr. Bones outfits are carrying that giant case with that massive trophy-style belt that for the Crown Jewel champ? They're going to be happy when this thing is over with and they don't have to lug that thing in and out of elevators, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they're making a big deal out of it. They're showing the class that they're showing this title as opposed to all the other titles that are thrown in bags and the bags are thrown around and everything. So they're really paying attention to this.
Well, they've gone from, once again, like you said, sometimes they're just popped in a bag and thrown in your bag, but they've gone from that to handling it like it's a Fabergé egg. I mean, who's going to wear that thing, by the way? Are they going to have to hydraulically support whoever wins it to put it around their waist for a picture?
Do you have to use it again after the pay-per-view? Or is it just you win it at the pay-per-view, you send it home?
Well, I don't know.
They both already have titles. I mean, it's not like a lock thing.
As a fucking rib, they got to say, oh, you got to take it with you. You know, you got to have it on TV. You got to show everybody what you got, right? They did that to Roger Smith and Donnie Bass in Memphis in 1983. They made the Assassins World Tag Team Champions, but they didn't have a set of belts handy, so they had these giant 6-foot fucking trophies. And I think Donnie had to carry them around most of the time, but they'd be sticking out the window of his fucking backseat of his fucking car, these 2 6-foot fucking trophies. And then they dropped them to the Fabs, and the Fabs, they just left them somewhere, so they wouldn't have to carry them around. And then they had Naomi versus Candy LaRue. Your thoughts?
No thoughts. Didn't watch.
Okie dokie. So now it was the time for the time. It was the time. So now it was time for the 9 o'clock hour, the bewitching hour, to strike for Cody to make his entrance. And he came out to the ring and he was ready for all the people to go, whoa! When Gunther's music interrupted it and they didn't get their whoa. And out came Gunther. So now they can just, Cody can just walk out to the ring and fuck it, they've seen enough of him. Let's send Gunther out there. And they do the promo. And again, that belt is gigantic and ugly to me. It's too much. It's too large. It's too, whatever the fuck it is, it's too. What do you think? You're an old belt aficionado. Is that too much of a good thing?
Yeah, maybe the Saudis requested green. I really don't know.
But I mean, besides the green,
it's a gigantic eyesore.
Yeah, you'd have to be 6'5" to fucking put it on and then not cover up your chin and your nuts. So anyway, Gunther says, so Cody, what do you want to talk about? And Cody says, it's obvious. Why do you think you're going to leave Crown Jewel as champion? And Gunther says, well, let's talk about you first. And then it got long. And I mean, you know, Cody was born a small black child in a log cabin, and it was a long story that Gunther was telling. He won WrestleMania for the legacy of Dusty. He said, hey, give me the Cena schedule. Cody, you always make things more dramatic than they are, said Mr. Pot to Mr. Kettle. But all Gunther wants to win the thing for is to live up to himself and the magnitude of him, right? But Cody, what's your real reason why? And then Cody, well, that's the dumbest question anybody ever asked me. And he went into a dissertation, and I wrote, they're speaking well and saying nothing of note. Cody put the fans over, gave them their woe, talked about how much harder he works than Gunther. And they put in the time. It's going to be a big match in Saudi Arabia and on Peacock. And so they put the time in to talk about it. And then Gunther said Cody was gutless, and Cody said, well, I've got the guts to take the first shot, and boom, and they had a fight. And Kaiser came in and they beat up Cody. And then Orton came in and the heels bailed. And then Orton picked the belt up and handed it to Cody. So I didn't feel the earth move under my feet. I didn't see the sky tumbling down, but they spoke well, but they said nothing. What do you think?
I mean, it was all right. I think Gunther's really good in these situations. I think Cody's going to talk himself into being booed pretty soon. He's not talking at the level that he's talking above people, but not in a real way.
He's starting to get too fancy.
And there's no reason to. And this is what happened in AEW. And I said it early on. He's gonna turn himself heel without turning heel, because the fans, it's gonna be impossible to cheer for him. And there are more restraints. There are better controls here for booking than AEW. However, at some point, if he keeps talking like this and not connecting, while there are people like Roman Reigns that people are really getting behind, he's going to have a problem to be a top babyface.
Well, and
Bob Backlund.
Yeah, well, oh, good Lord. I don't think that far, but I can see what you're saying is that it's kind of like an oral, verbal version of, just because you can do all those moves doesn't mean you should. Just because he knows a lot of these words doesn't mean he should use them, does it? Sometimes.
It's not just the words, it's the way he delivers them. It's his body mannerisms. It feels very practiced. If you watch him, it seems like a guy who did this promo in the mirror. Gunther doesn't have that. Gunther seems like a smartass who's out there willing to say anything, even if it's in like the WWE way. Cody seems rehearsed, and he's speaking unnaturally. He's going to be a well-dressed Moxley if he keeps saying nothing.
Oh, I don't think it's gone that far, but Gunther, and plus it works for Gunther that English is his second language, because he's allowed to, misspeak a little bit, and it's part of the charm, right? With Cody, he is being a bit, as you said, polished. It's almost like, my name is Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, that's what went on there.